Hey everyone, Chef Shane with Z Grills. Today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. Two steaks prepared the same way, but at two different price points. And once they're ready, we've got a panel of taste testers who are going to tell us if they know the difference. So first off, we're going to start with both of our cuts right here, and we're going to season them with salt and pepper. I like to do the salt first, and I'm pretty liberal. I like to get a nice good coating because once we sear both of these steaks, we want an even crust. And if you like a little extra pepper like I do, don't be afraid to add a little extra. All right, so we've got them seasoned. I'm going to do one quick check, and this is important while you're at home. If you notice that one of your steaks or both of them has excess fat or it has a piece that's sticking out, like on this one, I always like to trim that off. So I'm going to find right there, and you can see how it just peels away. There's a little extra skin right there. Just gonna take that off. This guy's looking pretty good. It's already been trimmed for us. Excellent. They're ready to put on the grill. Let's get started. Hey everyone, so we're ready to grill our steaks. We have two different cuts that are pre-seasoned with coarse ground salt and cracked black pepper. We've got our grill preheated to 450 degrees. And right now for our steaks and our purposes, we're gonna grill to about medium. So we're looking for an internal temperature of around 140 degrees because honestly, that was a request from our taste testers. So let's get started. Now before I actually place both of these cuts on the grill, I'm going to take some melted butter and I'm going to brush both sides, both steaks. We're going to place them right on the center. Now remember, your smaller steak is going to cook a little faster because it has less surface area to work with. Now that they're on, we're going to do about 4 minutes per side to get a really beautiful even sear, a nice crust, and it's going to help even cooking all the way throughout. Hey everyone, our steaks are ready, so we're going to slice them up and serve them to our panel of taste testers. Now remember, we have two different cuts at two different price points, prepared the exact same way, and we're going to see if our judges know the difference. So I'm going to start with a bias cut on our steaks. It gives a nice presentation and it also allows us to fan out the beef as well. So we'll start on the left here. There we go. Start with the next. And then I'm going to add a little garnish of some nice fresh herbs. We're using some thyme today, just to add a little extra depth of flavor. Give it a little earthiness. And there we have it. We are ready for our blind taste test.
So visually, I feel like this one's the more expensive one and this one's the more inexpensive one. And why I think that is because this one's, the way that the redness is a lot more deep and dark versus this one's like a more like lighter pink color. I don't really know if that has anything to do with it, but I think that's why.
I think this one on my left is probably the one that's cheaper, just because how it's not really, like, how would you say, like charcoal with the outer skin, and this one right here on the right has a little more charcoal to it. So I'm thinking the right side is probably the more expensive, the left is the cheapest one.
If I'm just basing it off looks, they both look pretty similar to me. They're both cooked the same. I think this one just has a little bit more fat right there. So if I'm just basing it off looks, I would say that this one is the more expensive one. To be honest, it's just a guess. They both look the same, but just gonna try it out and see if I'm right or wrong.
I believe this one was the most expensive one. The texture is different. This one's a little more chewier, but you can tell something's off just a little bit. Like, I think this one's the most expensive one.
I still believe this one's the more expensive one. I don't know why, it just felt more like soft. I don't know if that makes sense, but like more like expensive. I don't know. Whereas this one felt a lot, even though like the color and like the cook of it's the same, this one was still more like tough and like rough.
So based on these two, this one definitely melts in your mouth a lot easier. This one's a little bit more rough when it's chewing, and it's very similar, but if I had to guess, the fat is making this a lot more able to melt in your mouth. So I'm gonna lock in my final answer for this one as the most expensive one.
And let's see. Sorry, guys.
31. So yeah, it's worth the money. That one was, you could for sure tell. Once you bite into it, you could tell that this one's a lot more tender and just melts in your mouth.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I knew it. I tasted it. You can tell the difference. You can really tell the difference.
Oh, I was right. Yeah.
Hey everybody, so there you have it. We completed our blind taste test. We had 3 testers today. And if you notice, a couple people went back and forth. You know, maybe they thought the New York strip on the right was more expensive versus the filet mignon on the left. You know, but visually they look a lot the same. And when you actually dive in to taste the difference, that's where you notice the specific nature of the filet mignon and the New York strip. The filet mignon is very tender, it's very soft, and it kind of melts in your mouth, as one of our testers said. The New York strip has a lot of flavor, but it's a little bit chewy. The main reason that that happens in terms of price and texture is filet mignon has more fat marbling consistently throughout the cut of the steak, versus the New York strip, a large majority of its fat is on the outer edge. So that fat naturally cooks down, it naturally bastes the beef, and it gives that really tender quality that everybody knows filet mignon for. So it's New York strip at $12.99 a pound, filet mignon at $31.99 a pound. Both are delicious, both are excellent, but it's gonna boil down to personal preference. Do you want buttery and tender, or do you want a little chewy and flavorful? You really can't go wrong either way. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Chef Shane with Z Grills.